Hi friends, it's Nicole, and I'm back with volume 2 of our Disneyland 2009 scrapbook, volume 2. I talked about the font and the album cover and the spots on the album cover in the last video, but so we'll just skip that part. So this is an interesting layout or an album because I almost always start a volume 2 with another title page. And for whatever reason, for this album, I did not. I just kept on going as if it was part of the same book. I may have started originally trying to fit all of this in one book and then realized I couldn't. But so this doesn't have a title page, which is actually quite unusual for me. This is that same either primary or cheerful, I can't remember, one of the old CM Power palettes. I used quite a bit of that one and the Simply Beautiful and the licensed Disney collections that Creative Memories used to have in this book. And I'm using the side-loading pocket pages that we used to have, which as I'm looking at them years later, I can see why we switched away from the side-loading. Here's our day at Disney's California Adventure. I once again cut out the park map, and this will be fun later on when things have changed in California Adventure. I think this is before Cars Land was built. Yep, no Cars Land, so already it's different, you know, for this trip from the more recent trip that I took. This Goofy was cut out from the park flyer, the map flyer. I always take a bunch of those. And then this paper, it kind of looks like Simply Beautiful, but I also think it might have been like a New Year's collection. All of this would have happened in about probably 2010, 2011. I don't really remember the names of all the things from way back then. But I love to do the park map sometimes. I don't do it every time on a Disney trip. So just some random pictures here. Some enlargements. I'm not sure why I chose to enlarge this particular picture, except it's kind of cool. I said Sunshine Plaza is the closest thing to a central hub California Adventure has, but there's not much there except this big sunburst sculpture, which is not, I don't know. I don't know why I chose to do that, but I did. I said we love the names of some of the shops, the souvenir itch and award wieners and off the page. So Alex with his little gangster look. We had booked our trip through the Disney Travel Club, and so we got these cool fun lanyards. And this is that same, it's not Simply Beautiful because it's got a little snowflake on it. I just noticed that right there. All right, this Aladdin show was phenomenal. They used to do it at the theater. I wrote here that the guidebook said it was not to be missed, and we absolutely loved it. I always keep a trip journal when we travel, and so that I'm able to write down funny things that happened, you know, or quotes that I want to remember. And on here I said, the genie stole the show. Our favorite line was when the genie told Aladdin, I can see it now. You and Jasmine will have 6 kids and then octuplets. But don't worry, the taxpayers of Agrabah will pay for everything. This was about the time that woman in California had those octuplets, and it was all the big thing in the news. And I loved the way they would bring that in. This background is actually the curtain of, you know, before the stage show went up. And right here next to the L, you can just barely see where I trimmed. I took a 4x6 photo just of the curtain, and then I trimmed it and cut it in half to be a background for my title. All right, sorry, too much talking, I guess. And obviously, this is when I got my silhouette. This had to have been about 2012 or 13 because that's when I got my silhouette. And these are not Cricut fonts. This is when the world opened up to me and I could cut stuff up from any font. So here's just a few more pictures. Very simple. You can see I didn't do a lot of embellishment. I still don't really do a lot of embellishment, but this is, even for me, pretty simple, but you certainly have the focus on the photos. So here's the end, just a little clip art and some more thing about genie and some of the funny things that he said. So here's the Monsters Inc. ride. Still using some ABC stickers, but yeah, I'm seeing more of a mix and match. I've almost gone completely away now in 2021 from using stickers, but back then I was doing a little bit of both. So here's the Monsters Inc. ride. Very simple again, no real embellishments, just kind of that same color blocking technique. I just really love the clean lines of pictures that are just arranged and evenly spaced. So this was that Disney licensed paper that CM had. And we had this tool that like it was a little circle and you could put 4 pictures in it and hold them together and then cut with like the custom cutting system oval. That must have been what I did here. I don't know why I didn't put a title or any journaling, but obviously I would, the title that I might have put is just, you know, random photos. But I think it's still fun, and it was still fun to save some of these photos. And be careful what you do with my camera, because that's going to end up in a scrapbook. We had dinner at Ariel's Grotto, and this is one where this is before PhotoPass, and so we probably got the photo in a little cardboard case, which I would have cut this design out of that, and even this little frame I cut out from that cardboard that they did the picture in. And then Michelle was little enough that she got this crown that she could put little stickers on, and then of course gave it to me when she was done. And this paper I think was from one of the Disney Princess collections. I said the only character meal we had went during our trip. I said the princesses were lovely, but the meal was expensive, even by Disney standards, and not very good. So that's you know, a little honesty there in my scrapbook. But these are the same stickers that she got to use on her little crown that she very kindly, you know, shared with me. She's in college now, and she tells me that she still has trouble actually using a sticker. If she gets a sticker for, you know, I voted or whatever, she just puts it in her wallet so she can give it to me later to put in the scrapbook. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. California Screamin is the big roller coaster. It's now the Incredicoaster, but it's the longest and fastest coaster. And they had drained the bay. I don't know what they were. Oh, they were putting in World of Color. And so I don't think did I skip that part? I don't think I talked about that yet. See, I'm discovering that my layouts are out of order. But they had drained the water. So usually this part starts in the water, and it doesn't, but I talked about that. Little hard to see. The picture's a little bit dark. And I don't know if I purchased the ride photo. Look, I just took a picture of it. How lame. All right, Orange Stinger, that's that kind of swing, spin around thing that like is in a big orange. And while they were riding it, the parade started. So I ran off to the parade, but Princeton had a camera too. And so Princeton is my husband, and he took pictures of the people on the ride while I was taking pictures of the parade. And again, simple, just kind of that square color blocking, no embellishments. That seems to be a real theme for me with this album. And this was probably in that cheerful Power Palette too. I wish I could remember. Toy Story Midway Mania. It's a little bit different in California than it is in Florida. The queuing area is outside, and we didn't like the queuing area as much, but of course we love that ride. And then just a night picture. I said, thankfully there is no nighttime show right now, so we were forced to make a relatively early night. The construction in Paradise Bay will change that, so next time we get out to Disneyland, we can watch the Wonderful World of Color. But they used to have the word California. I don't know if you can see that. It's spelled out California. That was really cool. So the next day we went back to Disneyland. I guess we just went for the weekend, because I said Katie had missed class on Friday, but she had to fly back on Sunday afternoon. So the last thing we did together was eat lunch, where I remember trying Mountain Dew soda for the first time when I was a little kid. And then Katie got on the Disneyland Express to go back to the airport to leave us, and we were staying one more day. So now we're without Katie. This is that night. obviously we had taken, taken some time for her to leave. So not much happened apparently on this last day at Disneyland, or I'm partially out of order, which is also totally true. Then we had said Princeton, Alex, and Katie had stayed the first night to watch Fantasmic and the fireworks, but Nicole and Michelle were too tired. So this time we took a nap after Katie left so we could go out. Oh, ate at Bengal Barbecue. That's my favorite restaurant at Disneyland. And it was cold, but Disneyland was doing a buy, spend $20 in the gift shop, get the towel for $12.99. And so we ended up with a couple of towels to use as blankets. But I love this picture of us all curled up, snuggled under our blankets. So the fireworks show is called Remember Dreams Come True. I said the coolest thing is about how much Tinkerbell flies. At the Magic Kingdom, she flies from the castle to Tomorrowland once. Here she flies back and forth several times, including while the fireworks go off. It was so cool. So here's some little... It's so hard to get pictures of Tinkerbell flying. Easier when you get more than one chance. But here's just the simple fireworks. And here's where one of the first times I've seen myself where I traced around the letters just to make them a little bit easier, easier to see, a little bit of contrast. I don't know if you can see that, but if you ever have a title that you feel like is getting lost, try carefully tracing around it with a pen. That really can make the letters pop off the page. This is Pixie Hollow, and this was a Disney, or Creative Memories Disney fairies. And so I was thrilled to get to use it actually for Disney fairies at Disneyland. And it was fun. The Pixie Hollow, it's kind of, like you're shrunken down. And I don't still know who some of these fairies are except for Tinkerbell. This layout is one of my favorites, and this particular design is actually what the tile in that bathroom near Alice in Wonderland looks like. It has the red hearts and the black squares, and I had taken a picture of it and saved it to remind myself to use it for my title page. But I think it's a really fun title page. And then I also used the Jolie's Alice in Wonderland stickers. So this was just a little shop in Adventureland that had a lamp you could put money in and rub the lamp and it would tell your fortune. So we went to the shooting gallery, and I realized as I was scrapbooking this that obviously we had gone to the shooting gallery more than once because Katie is in this picture. But if you remember, she left the day before. So apparently we went to the shooting gallery more than once. Again, super simple layouts. Just, this was that paper ribbon and just one little stripe on a background paper. And the title is kind of what adds the interest to the page. But turns out there aren't a lot of gun stickers or embellishments out there. This was Billy Hill and the Hillbillies. And I wrote about here that the guidebook said this was something not to be missed at Disneyland. And I said that we loved the show. And we got our lifetime quota of chocolate, sharing one piece of Mile High chocolate cake. And I don't think they do this show anymore, which is too bad. This is one of my favorite layouts I think I've ever done. I talked about how they used to have the letters out front of California Adventure that, spelled out the word California. Well, my name's Nicole, so I took a picture in front of the N. My son is Alex. He took one in front of the A. But then my husband, his name is Princeton, so he covered up the R. But then when I had these, I wanted to put them in. And so I decided just to make it a little, make the title going across. And I think it's so cute. And I love right here on the C, just a little picture I had of Michelle peeking out. I think that's just a fun little layout. And because I'm a scrapbooker, I'm really sad that these giant letters are gone. We went to Animation Academy. This is one of our very favorite things. It used to be at Disney Studios in Florida. It's gone. They still have the one in California. I apparently didn't journal this. I mean, I finished this album 10 years ago, and I need to go back and journal that this was our favorite thing. to do the drawings. I've saved all the drawings we've done over the years. And this thing was called a zoetrope. It's very cool. It's a bunch of little clay models, and it spins around, and when it gets going fast enough, it looks like it's animated, and you see like Jesse's lasso going up and down. I totally need to journal that. So this is the picture that I used for the title page of the first volume, the Once Upon a Time, and then this And They Lived Happily Ever is the other part of it, and you'll see that again at the end. Grizzly River Run is the water ride. It's similar to Kali River Rapids, except that back in the day, Kali River Rapids used to have a place in the middle that you could put your bags and it closed shut. They didn't do that here, and they don't do it anymore in Florida. And we got totally wet. I don't think you can tell in the pictures here, but yeah, we were pretty soggy coming off of Grizzly River Run. So here's the Bugs Land. I think this is gone now, but it was fun when we went there. I had this big Flick sticker and just the little fun things, and all made from, as if you were a bug. So stuff made from dishes, and these are old straws. And it was just, we liked the Bugs Land. So here's the Heimlich's choo-choo train, which is like you're riding on the little Heimlich car going through all these giant pieces of food, kind of like the Very Hungry Caterpillar. He ate through the cookie and the apple and the candy corn. This paper, I think all of this might still be that same cheerful power palette. I'm sorry, I got distracted by my pictures and didn't talk to you about the things. But this was kind of the precursor to what we now have with the Fast to Fab pages, where you had a paper that had kind of this design, and they always would give us two of the same. But what I did with this one was put one this way and then flip that one the other way, so that I had these two pieces kind of in contrast to each other. And obviously this Flick sticker came with these, because these are kind of little raised epoxy stickers too. And a severe shortage of journaling. Look at me. I need to scold myself and not do this. I need to repent and put some journaling in here. These were the drive-in buggies, little bumper cars with little bugs on them. They were little bugs. They didn't have bugs on them. And then the Ladybug Boogie was just a little, I guess a little spinning thing. Obviously, I didn't write it if it was too spinny. Oh, look at the cute little ladybug I made myself, because, Frances is the ladybug from It's a Bug's Life. And so I just had made these ladybugs with a circle and, cut it apart, and then some other little circles. Very cute. And again, more in Bugs Land. And because I used this same kind of paper through the whole thing, again, it ties it together. And no journaling. I'm a little shocked at myself. Here's Michelle also getting drenched one more time. And then the Pixar Play Parade, which I know that I had watched it the day before or a couple of days before when they were riding the Orange Stinger, but I didn't quite get there. And so we made a point to watch it the next day. And obviously I'm supposed to write that in the journaling. So you can bet I will be doing that before I put this back on the shelf. I said Disney California Adventure has two areas, kind of like Epcot. The front section is Hollywood Studios area, and the back is called Paradise Pier. So this is just pictures from the back. Jiminy Cricket is one of my two favorite Disney characters. So anytime I see Jiminy on things, I like to include him, which is probably something that needs to be written in the scrapbook. Here I said, usually the Paradise Pier section of the park surrounds a large man-made lake called Paradise Bay. Right now, though, the water has been drained out so the Imagineers can install a major new nighttime show. So this page needs to be way back there before Katie left, because look, here's Katie. Okay, I apparently didn't scrapbook this chronologically, but I don't know if that was on purpose. But luckily, they're in the pocket pages. I can change it. So then here's a last picture with the, Tow Mater and Lightning McQueen. And then the very last page was that other picture from the Animation Academy, And They Live Happily Ever After. So if you remember the title page from the first book, was Once Upon a Time, and the last page is and they live happily ever after. So I didn't do a great job with a title page for volume 2, but I did a great job with the end page for volume 2. So thanks very much for watching my album flip through. I appreciate several of you have told me that you enjoy these, and I always wonder, they seem a little selfish because I love to show off my albums, and so it helps me to know that some of you are enjoying watching these album flip throughs, seeing kind of the evolution of my scrapbooking, and even getting ideas still that you can use on your albums, from ideas, things I did 10 years ago that you're still able to adapt to your scrapbooking style of today. So I'll be back soon. I'm hopefully days away from having my 4-volume family reunion album done that I'll be able to share with you, hopefully before we leave to go to our next family reunion, which is 3 years after the one I'm just barely scrapbooking. So thanks so much, and happy scrapbooking.